Well, about 1 in every 5 Canadians may be suffering from seasonal affective disorder or a mild form of the winter blues. Family physician Dr. Melissa Grelo joins us now to talk about the 5 surprising things that could be making you feel worse this season and how you can change that. Doctor, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, seasonal affective disorder, people just think, oh, it's the weather. It's making you feel a little down. What is it exactly?
Right. Well, seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, is a cyclic mood disorder that happens often during the darker months of the year, so typically from about October, November to February or March, and it's the typical symptoms of depression like low mood, poor concentration, and fatigue that can affect your function.
But is it different from this notion of the winter blues?
Yes, that's a good question. So a lot of people confuse the two. So the winter blues are kind of a milder form of SAD that doesn't have as much of an impact on your function. Only about 15% of people experience that in their lifetimes, whereas about 2 to 3% actually get full-blown SAD.
Well, let's talk about the things that could be making us feel worse. And you say one of them is don't turn to sweets for a pick-me-up.
That's right. So I think most of us have experienced this, right? So you're feeling down, you want to reach for some junk food. But that's a bad idea. Even though it increases your mood and your energy in the short term, what it does is it causes this spike of serotonin, which is good, but which is good in the short term. But then when your blood sugar levels crash, your mood also crashes. So this can lead to lower mood. So there's an interesting study from Columbia University that came out recently showing that women who consume more junk food have higher rates of depression.
Okay, so no sweets, and now, which I can live with, I suppose. But you also say coffee could be a problem.
Right. So this is a huge no-no. Overuse of caffeine can lead to depression. So
you realize you're in enemy territory right now.
I know, it's morning. Not a good thing. Right. So the reason is that it can lead to trouble with sleep, especially if you have it too late in the day. Just like junk food, it spikes your mood and your energy in the short term, but over the long term can cause problems. It's this vicious cycle of being tired, overusing caffeine, having trouble sleeping at night, and then being tired again the next day.
Okay, so those are a couple of things that we put in our bodies, but what about our environment? You say that there are issues that some people have with their workstation.
Right, so there are 2 things I want you to think about with your workstation. Number 1, the light levels. So the theory behind SAD, as you mentioned, is lower light levels can reduce serotonin, so bathe yourself in as much light as you can during the days.
Are there types of light that are different or better, more beneficial?
That's right, so natural light is a good thing, so try to move your desk closer to a window if you can. If you can't do that, try buying a commercial light box and bathe yourself in 30 minutes of light as close to your wake-up time as you can every morning.
What are some other things that could be making us feel worse?
Right, so one thing, a huge offender is too much screen time or too much social media use. So in the winter, it's cold, you want to stay inside, you want to click through your feed and see what's going on with your friends, right? But that's a problem because people tend to present the highlight reels of their lives on their feeds. So you compare yourself and you're feeling down. There was a study from Denmark showing that after 1 week of no Facebook use, actually people's self-esteem and mood increased.
I kind of like that. That makes a lot of sense. So those are all good tips for everyone, but there are people in particular who might be more prone to this, people with allergies.
Right. So a lot of people think allergies, they're just annoying, it's not a huge issue, but there's a huge body of research showing that allergies can increase your risk of depression. So the thinking is that you get some inflammatory proteins released with allergies that mimic the effects of depression. So you want to basically deal with those allergies before they become a problem. Use your antihistamines, your nasal sprays to reduce the inflammation.
Well, winter isn't going anywhere anytime soon, so those are very good tips to get us through these long, dark months. Doctor, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.